Oh, hey everyone. Yes, thank you for tuning in, subscribing, turning on that bell thing that actually allows you to get notifications of when we upload, contributing to the Patreon, and of course telling all of your friends about the new channel. It was a busy weekend for us, obviously, and the end result was a brand new channel with a fresh start and finally the release of the first episode of Idiots Watching Anime, where we sat down with Danny Fernandez and Emma Fife to watch the first Dragon Ball Z movie.
It's still got that new channel smell.
Well, it's got the old channel stink, but we'll get to
Cancels
that.
it out.
If you haven't watched that episode yet, make sure you check it out. We'll have a link in the description and at the end of the video.
All right, and yeah, we're still in the same old dumpy ass set in this tiny, echoey room.
Hello.
Temporarily.
Yeah.
But we got to make do with what we have.
Yes.
The good news is that since so many of you decided to throw some ching-ching at us on Patreon, we can now go ahead and sign the paperwork for our new studio and not go immediately bankrupt.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be moving into that the first week of July. So,
yes,
things are happening.
Great.
But enough of this self-promotion bullshit. You're already here. So let's talk about this stupid FBI agent who literally couldn't contain himself while at a bar and just had to show off his sick dance moves when the opportunity arose. What happens next isn't really that surprising.
No. When a crowd gathered around at the Mile High Spirits and Distillery Bar in Denver, Colorado this past weekend, they assumed they would either be treated to some mildly entertaining breakdancing or an overly confident drunk dude busting his ass and making a fool of himself. What they probably didn't expect is that this guy who was gonna dance for everyone was actually an off-duty FBI agent who, for whatever reason, was still carrying a gun and out of an obvious abundance of safety, decided to keep it on his person throughout the dance routine.
You never know. The only way to stop a bad guy breakdancing is a good guy breakdancing.
Yeah.
Well, that backfired, or forward fired, because during the I'm gonna do a backflip in a crowded bar part of his performance, the coup de grace, his gun fell out of his waistband, landed on the ground in front of everyone watching. To his credit, nothing bad has happened yet.
No.
And he was quick to realize what happened, so he reached down and grabbed his gun before someone else could, except during the panic to get his gun back, he, whoops, pulled the trigger and shot someone.
Yeah, whoops.
America. Now, we have no idea if the person shot was a bad dancer with a gun who was obviously targeted by this good dancer with a gun, but at least he didn't die.
So that's good news.
It looks like it was just in the leg.
Yeah.
And you know what? That thing's gonna grow back even stronger. You can't imagine the dance moves this guy's gonna be able to pull off next.
The official statement from the Denver Police Department read, "The agent was dancing in a nightclub when his firearm became dislodged from its waistband holster and fell onto the floor. When the agent retrieved his handgun, an unintended discharge occurred."
Whoops.
That was the most, we're covering up for this FBI agent speak about something like this happening that I've ever heard.
I mean, they're telling
unintended discharge.
I think the actual term is
negligence. Yeah.
Negligent discharge. The old ND.
Anyways, it continued and said that the victim was transported to the hospital with a good prognosis.
The victim being the FBI agent.
Yeah, he's the victim.
He's so ashamed. And
no, my job. Yeah. They did add that the agent was taken to the station, but was then released to an FBI supervisor who's probably very, very mad at him.
Everyone gets one.
So, I don't know, maybe that's the last we'll ever see or hear of him.
Yeah. Problem, there's so many questions here. They're not releasing his identity to protect him. I'm like,
He obviously wanted to be known by at least everyone in this bar.
Like, oh man, look at that cool dancing FBI agent.
Well, how hard would it be to nail down?
Law enforcement's cool.
How many people in the FBI are actually good at breakdancing? And we could start narrowing
maybe
this
a
all
lot.
down. Yeah, maybe it's like a prerequisite.
We don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know.
Yeah.
J. Edgar Hoover was into some weird shit. Maybe these guys are into some weird shit too.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're gonna do backflips on the dance floor and you got a gun in your pants, maybe get a better holster.
Or don't be at a bar with a gun. Because if you're not, he was off duty. So what?
Well, when you're an FBI agent,
you're always on.
You're
duty.
always on duty.
But still, you're just the risk of something happening. When you don't need to bring
the risk
gun
of something happening, the risk of someone having a gun there and him being like, oh, I didn't bring my gun to the club.
Oh, I have to go out to my truck and get into my gun safe and put the code in and then get it out and then come back in to save the day. When realistically, I can just do some sweet dance moves, get drunk,
in
fire off a couple shots.
In the good version of America, that FBI agent would have been shot before he had the chance to even reach for the gun.
Yeah.
Because everyone else would have been like, gun, shoot him.
Bang.
And then he would have been riddled with bullets and dead. But this would have never happened.
Yeah.
So, think about it.
Moving on, though, after weeks of what many would call odd behavior and what others would call marketing, Kanye West finally released his new album, Ye, to the public after initially debuting it at a listening party in Wyoming, of all places. Now, while we can't speak to the quality of the music on the album because all of our tastes differ so much, the album art itself, which is a photo of a mountain range with the phrase, "I hate being bipolar, it's awesome," written on it, was actually taken by Kanye using his phone's camera while at the listening party. A very quick turnaround.
Obviously, the phrase, "I hate being bipolar, it's awesome," with no comma could use some improvement because it sounds like something Hot Topic would have had printed on a t-shirt 15 years ago before they embraced YouTubers.
Yeah.
So Kanye released what essentially boils down to a meme generator with the album art and customizable text for the public to use. The results are exactly what you'd expect, with new cover art featuring phrases like, "I just farted and shit myself," "None of us would be here without cum," and "I only eat ass." I wonder who made that one.
Well, I mean, we'll leave that one up to you.
So we'll leave a link to his album art generator in the description so you can go ahead and create your own. Who cares?
Well, I don't know. I heard it's a good album, but very short. Speaking of music, though, if for whatever reason you've ever used the website Ticketfly, which is one of the few alternatives to Live Nation or Ticketmaster, you might want to change your passwords, check your credit card statements, and probably just move out of your house or apartment because they were held ransom by a hacker late last week who found and exploited a vulnerability in their website and demanded a ransom of 1 Bitcoin. Yeah, just one. Which,
not a big ask.
yeah, honestly, kind of modest in comparison to other hacks. But, Ticketfly either refused to pay it, thought it was a bluff, or ignored it entirely, so all of their customer, employee, artist, and venue information was leaked. Yeah.
Ticketfly took their website down over the weekend as a security measure, and they released a statement that confirmed the hack, saying, "Due to a recent cyber incident, Ticketfly.com is offline. We've engaged leading third-party forensic and cybersecurity experts to investigate and help us address the issue, and have done this with your security top of mind." Now, they didn't indicate how many people were impacted by the breach, but the website HaveIBeenPwned.com reported that over 26 million accounts were affected, so kind of a lot.
Yeah.
Most notably of all were venues and artists that were hung out to dry because of the website being down because they couldn't sell or account for previously sold tickets to events happening while the site was down. So if there was a concert happening, like
a lot of them went
scanners and shit,
they couldn't they couldn't verify any of the tickets and they couldn't sell more tickets. Actually, there was the local comedy show at Largo had to just do it for free. And a bunch of places ended up just doing free shows and probably will result in lawsuits against Ticketfly in the future.
Good.
It was like, oh man, back to paper money at a lot of venues, so they charged at the door.
Cash is king.
It would be interesting to see how much Ticketfly paid for these cybersecurity experts to fix everything, considering the price of 1 Bitcoin when it was demanded was around $7,000.
Yeah, not that bad.
No. But this hacker's an investor.
Yeah.
They see the value there in the Bitcoin.
Anyway, what did they breach? Ticketfly claims the passwords and credit card information of users is safe.
Yes.
Only your addresses, emails, and phone numbers were leaked.
Oh, thank God. Whew.
But it's safe to say you should at least check your statements and go ahead and change your passwords if you've ever used their site. Maybe change your name and move.
Yeah. It's time.
Get a new phone number.
You've already had
you still got your parents' area code and your phone number. You've been out of town for years.
Get a new phone number.
Go local.
Your social security number was leaked in Equifax. It's time to start a new life.
Start a new life. We should all change our names.
What do you think it's finally going to come to in the future when the whole country's just like, you know what? This is it. This is the reset button.
Yeah.
We all have to just start from scratch.
It's going to be as easy as getting a new screen name.
Yep. Just log into AIM.com and the world is your oyster.
My old screen name was Linkin Park Lyrics. My new screen name is Stone Temple Pilots Lyrics. Because I like oldies.
Yeah. But also in tech news, Apple's Worldwide Developers Conference is starting today, and the biggest news as of the time that we filmed this was the announcement of iOS 12. Nobody saw this coming, but iOS 12 seems to have a heavy focus on bringing more augmented reality capabilities to Apple products. They say you can point your phone at something, and it'll measure things accurately.
I don't trust that. And also dick pics. They're talking about dick pics, right?
Yeah. Wait, my dick's not 4 inches. I could have sworn that I measured. Oh, it's because I measured from the asshole.
Yeah, you got to put the camera behind you.
Yeah, you have to start at the taint at least.
Yeah. That's the trick, guys.
Uh-huh. But now you can't do that. Apple's going to get you. Mm-hmm. But yeah, basically, it's a very expensive ruler. You know what they say? Measure twice, cut once. Not anymore. Trust the phone.
Yeah. Thanks. They solved the problem of rulers.
Who?
And tape measures.
I'd like to see the amount of iPhone users that are measuring things all the time. And if you're a contractor, there's no fucking way in hell you're going to use this.
You'd be laughed off the job site.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, who's this for?
Yeah, I don't know. The conference, it just started on Monday morning, so we'll be gathering up more information if anything cool pops up in time for Tech News Day. But let's talk about entertainment news for a second. And no, not just boring movie news. Instead, let's talk about the fact that at some point in November of last year, Benedict Cumberbatch stopped a mugging in progress, saving a delivery man on a bicycle from being robbed.
This guy trying to be the next Harrison Ford?
I know.
When's he going to crash a plane?
He won't crash a plane. That plane is going to land perfectly.
Well, then he's not going to be the next Harrison Ford.
Well,
you got to crash a few planes to make it there. So anyway, the story's only coming to light now because the police incident report was made public and outlets contacted those involved for their sides of the story. According to witnesses, Cumberbatch screamed at the attackers and then dragged them off the victim. An Uber driver who was driving Benedict and his wife to a club said in an interview, "I went to turn down into Marylebone High Street."
This is obviously in
Britain.
Yeah.
Saw 4 guys who were pushing around a Deliveroo cyclist. My passenger jumped out, ran over, and pulled the men away. They turned towards him, and things looked like they were getting worse, so I joined in.
Yeah, and Obama was there, and everyone clapped.
He stood there instructing them in the street, shouting, "Leave him alone!" Then it all got a bit surreal. Here was Sherlock Holmes fighting off 4 attackers just round the corner from Baker Street. I had hold of one lad and Benedict another. He seemed to know exactly what he was doing. He was very brave. He did most of it, to be honest. They tried to hit him, but he defended himself and pushed them away. He wasn't injured. Then I think they also recognized it was Benedict and ran away.
No, it's Dr. Strange!
He's going to use his magic and his deductive reasoning.
Yes. I love how humble the Uber driver is, though. You know, to be honest, he did most of the work. But, you know, I held my own.
Yeah.
And then we embraced each other for a while.
I'd like to think I turned the tide of the fight.
Now we're best friends.
Yeah.
And me and Benedict hang out all the time. So there you go. We got to end the first daily episode on a high note, so that's good. Oh, and also, we wanted to thank everyone on Twitter who sent in some new fan art for the channel, specifically Noah Gonzalez, who did this amazing recreation of some of ridiculous art from the 90s. Juan Ortiz, who drew us as beefy, sexy anime characters.
Sick.
Yina, who is one of our favorite artists from over the years. And Chanit Sima, who made us look very young and handsome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Also, since it's our first video outside of that anime podcast, we want to give a huge shout out to everyone who donated to that Patreon the day that we launched it.
Yeah.
And a special thank you to those of you who grabbed one of our higher tiers.
You're the VIPs.
So thank you so much, Brandon Harrington, Sauron the Dark Lord of Mordor, the Platinum King, Kusea, Leo Patrick, Poddington, Harrison Johnstone, Jeremy Lewick, Kariko, May Day, Jay Blazer, and everyone listed at the end of this video. Thank you all so much. And we look forward to thanking the June patrons over the next few weeks.
We launched it on a weird day. The last day of the month.
We did. That may have been a mistake, but thanks for bearing with us.
Yeah, now, if you can spare it, head over to the Patreon, grab one of the tiers. Even if you can't do the $5 one, maybe just drop $1 in there, because if we can get even a fraction of the people who watch these videos to put $1 in our pathetic cup full of pennies, we can take a lot of the stress off of our shoulders from starting this whole thing. And we promise the money won't be wasted, and we're not going to do this every episode where we beg for money. We just want to get the ball rolling. You know how it is. So thanks again, and here's some more instructions. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell, tell your friends, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.